Hey guys, Jake here, and we're at KK Bar Ranch in California. This horse's name is Mona, and Mona had some reining training as a young horse, and Allie said that she's kind of got some displaced behaviors, some funny behaviors, and she's not been doing much with her for super long, so my job is going to be to poke around and find what I can find and kind of get a feel to help kind of make a long-term plan. Horse is really sweet. And one of the conversations that we had is with some of the displaced behaviors and things that she has, with some of this stuff on their face, so there we kind of find that aversion to confinement or control. She was tied here and was biting the rope and fussing at the rope. And I think she has some of that stuff with her mouth when being ridden, that if we've done too much confinement too soon on young horses and make them feel trapped, we can build that. And if a horse is really smart, they kind of know the source of the confinement. Like the horse knows, I'm tied, this rope is the problem. And so they bite at it and pull at it, try to untie themselves. Or with the bit and the reins, they try to bite at the reins, pull at the reins, fuss with their mouth and the bridle. So if we stick to our nose, neck, shoulder, ribs, hip, stand still, forwards, backwards, right, left, up, down, stand still. Sequencing, we know, well, start with the nose, but we kind of start with some friendly things here, rubbing. And just by kind of touching that halter at first, she caused her to fuss her face. So you can see even there, like I had touched it and she put her head down, but then she still flipped her nose. That kind of stuff, we see horses, they're not having anything but just wearing a bridle, wearing a halter, and they're doing with their head. They're fussing at the idea of being contained. It's a mental thing. So now there, I got a hold of that enough that when she came off it, it was a bigger release. Okay, and Allie saw it. She went,
oh no, that's her thing.
Okay, that sound she made was breaking that seal. Okay, now we see some of that bother come out. So that sound is a good release, but then what she does after it starts to be the thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna, for now, not do much. I'm just gonna go, hey, don't chew my nice stuff. Like, that's my nice stuff. That's like me coming in your house and just start banging furniture around and knocking things over. So what I could do is tighten up on this. There we go. And look for that fuss. So I'm going to hold that and twist on that halter, which tightens down on the nose, and elicit some of that. Now, you could not bother her, but that doesn't fix the thing. Unfortunately, in my experience, if we're really going to start the process of fixing something, we have to create bother. There's a little change. There's a bigger change. But see, she hasn't let go all the way. So when she does the little changes that I'm pointing out, my hand is not continuing to pull. Everything starts to soften. So as her nose starts to come down and melt, everything will get softer and softer and softer. So you can see my hand there. So now I have no feel there. She released herself. All right, so now to help with this, I'm going to snug this up, because as it's so loose that as it tightens, it's getting down here where it's like she could almost pull it off. Okay, so I'm going to start with trying to give her a little rub. Like she doesn't even really want to be rubbed there, so that's fine. I've got the halter twisted there. I'll twist it, and my pinky pushes down on the front of the nose, under the chin, starts to act like a curb strap on a leverage bridle. So this is a great way to start to eventually get them prepared for that. So we got the release and then big licking and chewing. So the twist on that halter, that little move is something that I'll do to just help. And there we go, nice deep breath. So we're getting nose and neck, okay? At a standstill, we're getting up and down. These are the movements that we're looking at, okay? Now, we're gonna look at this lip squeeze. This is one of the super secret moves that we taught Tik Maynard, and this is one of the moves that help win Road to the Horse. So we're gonna take this top lip, and I'm gonna kind of push on it, and her tongue sucks way up in her mouth, okay? I'm not doing anything hard here. I'm just pressing lightly. I can do the same thing on my own face here, pushing against my gum and squeezing that top lip. There we go. So I held it. She rolled up and her tongue came down and out and released and relaxed that, okay? And wanted to tuck her chin and stretch. So that's why I gave the release there. What we'll see at times, there's lots of different things, is when we go to squeeze this top lip, okay? So we're looking at it like this, and we're just, let me squishy your nose, okay? And you can see it's very tight there, scrunching her face to hold that tension. So I'm just kind of massaging and squeezing at that until it, there, she wants to tuck her chin a little bit. So she broke the seal. There comes her tongue from sucked up and into out where I could see it, okay? This is a taming thing. So when I can squeeze on the outside of that nose there and on that lip and touch that, see how now all of a sudden she's not evading it, she's letting it just kind of rest there, and it's starting to be kind of soft and squishy. Like she's like, oh, that doesn't feel so bad. Do it again. Squishy my thing, right? It's not much different than my wife on the couch. Squeeze, do the spot. Do the spot there. Do the spot right here. Feels so nice, right? Lots of forking horse manure and doing the thing. Forearms get tight. Shoulders get tight. Lifting hay bales, doing the thing. Well, this horse has a tight mind. Nose, neck, shoulder, ribs, hip, mind, flexion, weight, feet. We know that the nose and the mind is kind of the same thing. Another spot we can do it is under the chin here. And I'm technically pushing up on it till she wants to push it back down. There. And then I'm not doing anything to her mouth, but yet she's releasing that, okay? So you can cup under that chin, and I'm somewhat leading forward under this lip here, but I'm also pushing up into that till she wants to push down and into it. And I can just see, I can sit here and watch in the corner of her mouth what she's doing with her tongue. And if she throws her head, I'll just stay in here, keep pushing up on that. There. So that's up and down. Under that chin, again, that's where that curb pressure gets. And when we draw on a leverage bridle, that squishes under there. And it should help trigger them to tuck their chin, curl their neck, and want to stretch their head and neck down. So you're kind of prepping a horse here for becoming a bridle horse in the future, or handling that and understanding that kind of pressure there. So now if all of a sudden she's going to start to kind of come with me, that's cool. If she nibbles at my shirt, like she's like, oh, maybe I'll just lip you. That's fine. I'm just going to have it not get in her mouth. So I don't want them doing the head up and away. I want them thinking about down and in. So we're getting licking and chewing. She's starting to roll her eyes. And consider some relaxation. So now I'm not gonna teach her to pull back with that chin. She needs to tuck it, but not pull back and escape. Relax down and actually release the neck. So not just pull her chin to her chest. She should tuck her chin, so now I can feel her pop, 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 pop in her jaw. And all that funny stuff she's doing with her tongue. So if she starts to crowd me, I'm just going to lift that up. See, that's different. She starts releasing here. So I got feel there still. There, the neck gets longer. There, the neck gets longer. I'm just going to invite her back a little bit just so we don't end up crowding the camera. And maybe I'll go back to the front here. So if she's trying to escape with it, even though she's looks on the outside, okay, she's tucking her chin, you can feel the difference. It's not getting relaxed, it's escape. And I'm just playing a game of got your nose. Got your nose. Till she doesn't get bothered about it, that she gets settled with it. And you can look right in here and see their tongue and see what they're doing. Okay, and you just gotta stay patient. There's a little bit of strength I gotta have in my hand to maintain this. A little bit of confidence that I have to stay up and in here. And be able to see on her nose, like I'm not squeezing and pulling on it hard. I just have it kind of squished. There it softened. There the tongue starts to drop. So I release the squeeze. I'm kind of pulsing on the end. There, that tongue starts to drop. So I'm going to back off and let it off. You can see her, she starts rolling that neck like, whoa. Okay, so my joke I'll tease, it's like, come on, Elsa, you got to let it go. Like, they got to just let that stuff go. So I like that I can get there and she's not bothering. And I'm just kind of rubbing that nice. I want her to enjoy that. Now, this does, the reason that people use twitching when doing medical procedures or things that kind of have to have a little control over a horse without drugging them, we will do a twitch. Is a thing you can choose to do. I'm not saying pro con, just we're acknowledging that's a thing. Twitching, when they squeeze hard on that nose, kind of releases a natural endorphin release, so it's kind of triggers the body to drug itself and put them in a sleepy space. And this does probably, okay, hashtag not a medical professional, probably start to trigger some of that same stuff. So we see the tongue kind of comes, so that's better, release than the sucking it up and in. But because the head's still winging around, there's not relaxation, I'm not going to release there. And I didn't squeeze harder, I've just kind of stayed with her. I think of this, instead of thinking of it as giving her a nose twitch or anything, I'm giving her a brain massage. That's how I think of what I'm doing here. So if the nose and the mind are the same thing, her mind is right here, tells a lot about it. So I'm going to just massage that mind. There we go. Give her a brain massage till her brain doesn't feel so bad about allowing me to be in control or take a hold of her. And what happens is when a horse has been gotten a hold of or taken too much control of too soon and it's bothered them, you can't just not do it. You have to go back to where they were bothered and maintain until it gets less bothered and start releasing there. That's the hard part about really making changes in bothered horses. People want to say, oh, there's other ways. Oh, give them a cookie. Like, well, this horse will follow you around with a cookie, but it doesn't change how she feels about being in control. She's just happy you're not asking her to do anything. So even here, I'm just touching her skin about as soft as I can, just have my hand on her nose here. I don't have any squeeze to this right now. And that's creating enough bother all on its own. Now I'm starting to squeeze. Now I have a hold at the end of her nose. There comes the tongue. There's the release. Now on a horse that's not bothered, so I said I coached Tik Maynard for Road to the Horse. We used this, and you saw him really get some in round 2, and then at the last round, I reminded like, you really need to get on that a little bit more, and you'll get a whole new layer of relaxation. There was 2 moves, and this was one of them, and it really helped that away. At the end, is you can just kind of squeeze on it and until it just and release it. Like it doesn't have to go through a lot of this bother. So it can just be a taming exercise to create some taming and bonding with young horses and help them find, you're just doing it as more of a confidence than a yielding. So I got to stay in this game here if we're doing escape. Stay in the game. I got your nose. No, you don't. I got your nose. No, you don't. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Yes, I do. There, the tongue is relaxing. There, this is getting softer. We have the tension still in the neck. So that's what I'm waiting for. So I'm going to bump when she goes the root and pull her nose away and just say, no, we're not doing that. So we've took our time to build up to doing more and more. Big old lick and chew. Now we're starting to yawn. When we get this big old lick and chew, we start to yawn, we're seeing the other side of that bother. That's nice and soft. I don't hate that. I didn't love it. Oh, that's starting to feel pretty good. I'm just there. I just kind of impulsed on the nose, just kind of squished it softly to say, come on with your feet. There. So that's starting to be a bit of a softer feel in my hand. She's kind of pushed. I have contact now. Look, she's pushed her nose onto my hand. That's contact or connection, like what I would want from the bit, where they could go to it. So I took a hold of her, and then she came to it, came to the feel with her nose, neck, and shoulder. So that's soft. So now I'm going to close my hand on it. There's nose, neck is leading. So I'm just kind of impulsing, trying to exaggerate it a little bit so you guys can see there. The halter helped me a hair. There. Little impulse. Little impulse. That's just kind of saying, come on. Come on. Here comes the shoulder. The halter rope stayed soft. I'm just catching her with my forearm there to just not have her overly crowd me there, and just kind of melt it down. And she went at the bottom. And I gotta fix it all in one day. This might be a week or two's worth of what other people could or would want to do. I just have done this enough times. I'm quite confident with the progression. And if I can kind of get that over and done with, it's a little bit like ripping a Band-Aid off. A little less comfortable, but it can kind of be done with and move on, versus dragging it out can sometimes make a problem. But that's the thing. If you've not ever done this, you would just do little blips, build your way up. That's what I had to do when I was first kind of figuring this out. No one showed me this. It's kind of something I found messing around, and did a little more, did a little more, did a little more, till I found what was kind of possible. That's pretty good first go.
We'll just work on it while we're here every day.
Nose, neck, shoulder, good. Ribs and hip. Now can I catch her soft? Yeah, there's nose, neck. There's a little back. And I'm just allowing her to push to my hand to go down and through herself. So this is the beginning of building some throughness. So you'll start to see this muscle get better versus this muscle tight. This will start to fill in and muscle up better. Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. Hope you guys got a little something out of that. That's one of those kind of super secret moves that I'll use. Between that and burpees, those two things will make a big change in a horse, mentally, emotionally, and physically, helping them follow their nose through their neck, shoulder, ribs, and hip. And I can get kind of all the different directions going. It can, as you can see, we're starting to get some bonding here. She's starting to feel better about me and the deal, and realizing I'm trying to help her versus doing anything to or against her. So, all right, I'm Jake from Pear Tree Ranch here in California, and we'll see you next time.